Hello and welcome to a first look of Dragon Age Inquisition with myself, Calvin Robinson, joined by...
Adam Cook, hello everyone.
What up, Adam?
Not a lot actually. I'm just excited. I'm
Yes,
excited to see some Dragon Age because I've got to eat humble pie, my friend. I've got to eat humble pie here
you have got to eat that humble pie, and why have you got to eat it?
because I have been convinced, and I've quite vocally told everyone that I'm sure this game will be delayed until 2015, and I based that on the fact that nobody had played it.
And there was that 1 month delay as well.
Yeah, I just thought that seemed like a really odd amount of time to delay such a huge, I would imagine, incredibly high budget EA sort of BioWare game.
Yeah.
But you have now actually played it.
I have, and I spoke to the devs out there, and they said the only reason it was delayed was they had to quash a hell of a load of bugs, and they didn't want to ship a game with bugs. So I think we can all forgive them for taking that extra bit of time to make the game more stable.
Yeah, I mean we all agree that a bug-filled game is never good, and if you're going to delay it, that's to make it better is fine. It
Yeah.
just seemed like such a I don't know. It just seemed like such a huge game, and they'd shown it off, and it looked amazing. And because even at E3, you didn't get to play it, did you?
No, there was nothing of it there, really.
But now you have actually the footage that people are seeing right now is you playing the game, right?
Yep, that's me wandering around like a noob. I played the game for about an hour, so this is the same campaign that was showed during the EA press conference, but obviously they only showed about 5 minutes of it. I played for the full campaign of this story from start to end, so I got a bit more of an experience than I'd normally get with a hands-on at an event, because you don't really get to play a game for an entire hour.
No, in an hour's it's not a short amount of time. I mean, it might seem like that to people for an RPG, but in terms of events, to be able to sit down and play any game for 1 hour is extensive hands-on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I feel like I got a good feel for the game, and it does for me. Coming from DA2, it feels a lot like Dragon Age. Like I was never really a DA Origins guy, so I don't know if people from that game will relate. But for people who played and enjoyed DA2, will definitely relate to this game. The combat feels very fluid, very smooth. The way that you have a lot of abilities. In a moment, you'll see like a little radial at the bottom right-hand corner. There's 2 pages worth of abilities there. So if you hold down the left bumper, you'll get access to a second page. So there's a lot of combat options, and each different character has their own 2 pages of abilities to use. So it's going to take some getting used to. I mean, I didn't get used to most of them until the end of my hour, and that's only one combat mode. There's also the tactical combat mode as well, where you kind of pause the game and direct your companions to where you want them to go and who you want them to attack.
Because that, in hindsight sort of thing, when I remember playing Transistor and thinking how unique and original that felt, but now I think about it, the whole sort of pause, plan out your attack mode is kind of Dragon Age, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and you won't see it in this video because I didn't really use it much until the end of my hour session. But that's not a mode that I really enjoy. I like the live hack and slash action combat. I'm not much of a pause and you go there, you go there, you go there. Although the option's there if you want to do that. I think it's
But
gonna. Go on.
I was gonna say that's something that comes across to me more and more I see of it, especially in this video. Like whereas it's definitely an RPG. We know it's a role playing game. That's BioWare all over, really. But the combat looks less and less. I had to put it RPG like. It looks more almost hack and slashy, just because it seems so much more fluid. And yeah, I'm sure as you can see, there's probably like numbers and all sorts. It's definitely an RPG. You can see it's an RPG, but it looks more hack and slashy at times.
It is a bit. I mean, DA2 was, but like I said, there's so many different moves and abilities you've got. There's
Yeah.
still tactics involved as well in leveling those up and which ones you want to select for each given companion. So you've got 3 companions as well as your player character. So you've got 4 different characters to manage and fight with at any given time.
It's interesting, as I say, that you say you mentioned Dragon Age 2 a lot, and I know that you and I both played that more. But there's definitely a big split between Dragon Age and Dragon Age Origins fans and DA2 fans. And I'm sure I read somewhere, like I say, it could even be an interview with you, actually, where they said they were going to try and bring that all together for Inquisition. But because you're saying it sounds more like 2, but is that just because you played more of 2, or do you think they have managed that so far?
They did say that in one of my interviews, and I think I don't. It's hard for me to judge if they've done that or not because I didn't play Origins extensively. But like I say, for a DA2 fan, it very much feels like Dragon Age. So I'm hoping that the DA1 fans will feel the same way, and because it would be nice to see both those communities come together, because there is a lot of divide there, isn't there?
I mean, is there anything? Again, an hour's not. Again, we say an hour's long in the preview sense, but in terms of an RPG, not so much. But is there anything from the story you can gather so far?
I don't want to spoil anything, but most of this campaign has been shown in the presentation anyway. It was all about rescuing some people from a big evil bad guy in a castle. So it's a bit cliche, but it was fun, and it's not all just walking around killing things. There are, the story is going to be quite a main element of this game.
Looks gorgeous too. I mean, people watching this, they can see it for themselves, but it looks really, really impressive.
It does. I love the special effects. All of the particle effects in this game look really nice.
It's a silly question, but I'm guessing preview-wise, you're playing it on a PC, yeah?
So yeah, I was playing on a PC with an Xbox 360 controller. Why a 360 controller? I have no idea.
I guess that's just, I mean, it's kind of the 360 controller is the PC's gamepad, isn't it, nowadays?
Yeah, but it's a bit weird because usually at events you have a Xbox One controller.
Sure, I mean, I don't know, is it? I can't remember if this is coming to last gen.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it must be if they're giving us 360 controllers.
Yeah, true enough. That's a shame because you can't get. Oh, mind you, if it's a PC version, you can't get any idea if there's any PS4 gamepad specific stuff, or the Xbox One's got those triggers that vibrate and stuff, but 360 controller, so you can't tell.
Oh yeah, it's definitely coming to last gen. So this is probably going to be one of the last big games coming to last gen, I think.
But do you think that's okay? Because I mean, one thing I remember when, for example, Batman was announced, people were over the moon that it was just a new gen game. Do you think that's going to matter for this at all, or is it fine as it is? Like they won't,
Yeah, I think it's always a challenge when you're trying to make a game for both platforms, because you want to make it look as good as you can on the new gen and still make it work on the last gen. So it might suffer a little bit because of the compromise, but from what we're seeing, like you say, it looks really great anyway. So
it does. And you're all in, I presume. I mean, I know you're a big Dragon Age 2 fan, so you're all in for this one. Yeah,
from what I've seen of both the combat and the story, it looks great. I'm definitely on this one.
Well, me too. Now, I was worried. Like I say, I was big time worried it wasn't going to hit this year. But now, if someone's played it, it's actually with your own hands, I feel a bit more confident.
Yeah,
I was convinced it wouldn't want to come out with near The Witcher 3, so makes sense. Get it out this year. Let's all play it and enjoy it.
And this world is massive as well. Like from even just the snippet of it that I saw, they're going to really reward exploration, because obviously one of the biggest criticisms from DA2 was all the repeatable zones and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I hate when people go on about a massive game world unless there's a lot to do in it. Yeah.
And I did spend a little bit of time exploring and going around places that didn't necessarily need to go for my missions. And they are going to reward that exploration with little bonus items that you can collect and little side quests that you can take part in.
That's just what you want to hear when developers come out and say, we've got this massive world. What I really want to hear is we've got a dense world, you know?
Yeah. Doesn't matter how big it is if it's not full of stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean, you can get from this mountain to that forest, great, but what am I doing in between there,
Yeah, I think with DAI, we're going to get that.
That's great to hear. I'm genuinely really pleased to hear that.
So now it's just a case of let's roll on November and get to play it, man.
Yeah, it's not far, not far.
Until then, thank you very much for watching us, guys. Adam, thanks for being with me on this video.
No probs.
And we'll see you on the next one. Cheers!
Bye!